funny thing is, I am your host, Nicole Birch, where every week I bring you a guest who shares a life-changing event, the medicine they took to get better, and the funniest lesson they learned along the way. Today, I have a very special guest for you. She is my good friend, Chelsea Pope.
Hello.
She is an actor and comedian in Los Angeles, and she is a semi-consistent TikTok and Instagram creator. And she co-hosts a podcast called A Breath of Fresh Movie, and is also, like me, a former Sunday Company member of the Groundlings. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. What did you do? So you did Sunday After Me, yeah?
Yeah, so I did it in a funky time. I started October 2019, and then lockdown happened.
Good God.
Like very shortly before we were like preparing for our final show.
Yeah.
And I want to say I was feeling pretty good about my my positioning,
6 months, right.
whatever, you know, and then the lockdown happened. And then they gave us maybe about a month notice. They kept kind of being like, we're just going to see what happens and see what happens.
Right.
So I had no idea when we were going to come back. There was talk about whether or not they were going to just like vote on us based off of what we had done up to that point, whatever. Yeah. And then I want to say they gave maybe about like a month notice to come back about a year later. And I still didn't have a job because I'm a waiter.
Right.
And so I had to defer. And then, I was just going to turn, I don't want to sound like I'm disparaging, but like, I didn't get very good communication about onboarding again. Right. And then, I just was like, you know what? I think I got what I needed. So,
girl, hey, right there with you. Everybody was like, we'll have people, we've had a lot of people that have been in Sunday or Main Company. And, have we had any? We've had one person on Main Company. Everybody else is Sunday. And, we talked about that and they're like, what's your experience? And I think we all go, generally, oh my gosh, it taught me how to write for 40 hours a week, not getting paid, which I honestly like, it just makes you like cut your teeth a little bit faster.
Exactly.
And then we could do a new show every week. And like, so that aspect, I remember getting out of it and I was like, oh my God, I could write for 40 hours a week. Why can't I can use that for something else?
Exactly.
You know?
It's great
training
discipline.
Ground. Great training
Absolutely.
ground. And if you want to be on SNL, great. I remember I wanted SNL so because you know you're never supposed to say it. And I wanted it so bad in my second week of Sunday. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be worse than this. Nah, I'm good.
The thing is, it's like I realized this not until probably around between writing and advanced lab. I was like, oh, the goalpost is just gonna keep moving.
Yeah.
Because I had this fantasy in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna get into Sunday Company. There's gonna be all my friends, and we're gonna be fun. And then I was like, oh no, like, and when I got into Sunday, it's like, no, everyone's hustling for JFL. Everybody's hustling for SNL. Everybody's hustling. They're trying to get on their pilot picked up.
Politics,
and it's not, this isn't, there is no like paradise level of it. You know, I mean, maybe there's a different experience for others, but.
Yeah, I thought about that because I'm like, well, how do you, because it stopped being fun at one point, right? And so you're like, but it's comedy. We should still be having fun. But then I'm like, well, you know what? I mean, Lorne Michaels found the fucking formula. So it's got to be a lot of business.
Yeah.
Or like, I think my director kept always saying, play to Omaha. She goes, you've written up to this point for all of your friends and comedians. Now you have to play to Omaha.
I think that's smart.
And I was like, oh, I get it. But I was like, oh, but that's not how I've been training my brain for 6 years.
Right.
And so now I have to, play to the masses.
You have to kind of unpack that because you do start getting... It gets really insular. It's comedy for comedians. And that's very prevalent too in like the alt comedy scene. And like I was getting involved with like things that I'd say like the Elysian has a little bit of a corner on that,
1,000%.
It's a lot of comedy that's like, well, if you're not laughing, you just don't get it.
Yeah. It's highbrow.
It's like, it's anti-comedy.
Right.
Which is actually elevated. It's just,
you
this sort of.
You just don't understand it.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I would do UCB because I did UCB all the way through too. But I was like,
same.
oh, they're always like play to the, I mean, I think both are play to the height of your intelligence, but Groundlings is like play to the height of your character's intelligence. And I just played stupid characters. So that was easy.
Which is fun.
Oh my God. It's so fun. But with them, it's like you have to be the smartest person in the room. And I was like, oh man, I don't think I can do that.
I'm not like that at all either too.
I'm never the smartest
I've seen
person in the room.
different shades and flavors at UCB, but for the most part, I've seen a lot of people that are really thriving on like being the mathematics of the improv scene, which is just something I
can't tap into.
I've never gotten into. And I think the one thing that's kind of carried me is I love to choose to lose. And that's just where I kind of take things. It's always like, especially when you get in a scene with somebody who's like, they start arguing or they start picking things apart. I was like, yeah, no, I'm the weird one.
Yeah. Mine is like, what is it? After every scene, the person either gets what they want, they don't get what they want, or their want changes. And I always ended up losing in the scene, and my want would change at the end. I was like, I never want to win.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to win, and I think that's okay.
Same,
something like that.
Same. Yeah. What is a life-changing event you'd like to share today?
A life-changing event that I like to share today. I just want to keep it light, so I was thinking breast cancer.
Dope. Yeah. Dope. Okay. Yeah. Let's start there. Great. Start easy.
When you had asked me about this, I was like, is this gonna? I don't want to trauma dump, but.
We always start off with the trauma dump and then it gets lighter. So that's cool. Yeah. So you're when you sent me what you wanted to talk about, I was like, that's on par.
Cool.
That's great.
Yeah. I was like, that's kind of the thing.
Yeah. And you're so young, because I remember when you were like posting about it and I was like, what the fuck? When did it how old were you when it happened?
So 32.
Okay.
I found so it was late 2022. It was the week of Thanksgiving, and I found the lump, and it was kind of an accident. I was just feeling myself, you know, and then I was like, that doesn't seem normal. And then late December, I finally got the diagnosis, and ended up being stage 2. And yeah, I mean, I I felt, I was like, oh, maybe it's just like dense breast tissue,
right?
I don't know, and it was like I named it Meatball. So,
okay, so now we know what it kind of looked like.
It just felt like kind of that vibe, right. And yeah, I mean, I was pretty young. I don't know if I was the youngest. Well, yeah, at City of Hope, especially when you're like waiting for your appointments and whatnot, in the radiation oncology unit, there's a lot of older people.
For sure.
And I'm just, wow, I'm so
spring chicken over here.
Spring chicken over here. I'm so special.
I'm getting it out early. I'm getting it off my bucket list early.
So it's all uphill from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was on the younger side, but it is happening. Not to fearmonger, it is happening younger and younger. Just
that and colon cancer is like everything's getting younger.
You gotta start, ladies, those with breastises, just start getting those checked and on the regular.
Yeah. We have breast cancer runs in my family, or at least, yes, cancer, but like I would say 2 generations above for sure. Yeah. And then my mom's had several biopsies. Mm. And then I've had the same lump that is like the size of a golf ball, and it's been in there, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. It's just they think it's a fibril or something.
Oh, okay.
But it's been there, and every time I mean, I've had partners. I had a partner who found it when I was like 27 or something, and he's like, what is that?
Oh God.
And I was like, oh no, and they did like an FNA.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is something I have to get text all the time, and because I have dense tissue, I'm like, can you guys just schedule the mammogram and the ultrasound together?
Can't we do it? Which I love that because I switched hospitals twice actually, and ended up at City of Hope, and that's where next week I have another mammogram ultrasound. They always, they're very mindful about stacking them, and I do appreciate that a lot, because I had to do, when I was still a Cedars-Sinai, I had to go to a separate clinic for the MRI, and there was only one machine, and it was broken for half the day.
Yes.
And then when it finally got working again, they were like, oh, by the way, are you on your period? And I was like, I'm on day 3. And they were like, well, then we can't. You gotta go to Santa Monica.
Oh my gosh. I remember there was the women's clinic in Beverly Hills. They called me because I've been going so regularly. They called me and they're like, hey, we need to schedule your annual. And I was like, oh, great. Perfect. So I scheduled it with them. And it's that time of day. It was at the time of day where it took like 40 minutes just to get from West Hollywood to Beverly Hills.
Oh, that was amazing.
And so I get there and I walk in. They're like, oh, you don't have a referral. And I go, you called me.
Oh my God.
You called me. I assumed you had that worked out. So I call my GP and he goes, well, you need to schedule an appointment with me. And I go, I'm sorry. I need to schedule an appointment with a general practitioner, even though the people that are saying, hey, you need to get your breast looked at are the ones I was like, oh my God, so livid.
The runaround.
That's the medical system.
The worst part about the whole experience was the runaround.
And you're like, not the cancer.
It's not, no, it wasn't really, honestly, I was scared about on an existential level. There's that stuff kind of going on, but for the most part, my reaction was like, fuck, dude, this is gonna be expensive. I'm gonna be on the phone a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to all these places. I'm gonna have all these people be like, so what's going on? Let me look at your chart again. Let me Google this on the side. Okay, like
yeah. And it's like other countries, when they watch this, they're like, I don't understand. What are you paying for? And I'm like, I know.
It's oh boy.
So how long what was the treatment plan?
So I found it on Thanksgiving. Then I had to go make an appointment with my primary care practitioner. And I ended up, it was a nurse. It was a male nurse that I met with instead. That's cool. And they were like, yeah, that seems a little abnormal. We'll refer you to the Glendale clinic where they do mammograms, ultrasounds. It's a separate clinic for that. So when I go there a couple weeks later, and then they do the mammogram, ultrasound, and then I do a biopsy there. And then that same day, I got to see the sheet of paper where they had checked off the box of like, basically, like, we're pretty sure this is cancer. So I already had it in my mind, like, but I didn't have the official diagnosis. I was like, I was told like, you got to wait like a few business days so then like over a week passed and I started like calling my doctor's office every day and they weren't picking up and I was leaving voice and I was like, what did they just like close? Like what's going on? Right. So I go down there. Then I finally get a hold of them after like over a week in business days.
Unbelievable.
And the guy, and I think it was the same nurse, like picks up and he's like, hey, yeah, sorry, our office flooded and we hadn't been. What's your name? Let me look at Chelsea. Yeah, so it does look like it's breast cancer, at least stage 2, and we'll send you the information for an oncologist, and then just hangs up. So
what the fuck?
I know. And then. Yeah, so then
how was that day after that? Like, well, holy shit, girl.
So I was like, do I want to share this or do I not? How crude can I be on here?
Right.
Yes. So because we're going to talk about it anyway, have had some drinking and substance things going on. And that week had been a really rough week for me, like mentally and physically. And I had been on a bit of a bender.
Okay.
And that phone call happened. He hangs up. I'm in my bed. I've been in my bed for like a day and a half, just like I'm just like panic calling that, this and that. And I hang up and I shit myself. So that's how I took the news.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's an overshare. Maybe I'll regret that later.
That's not an overshare. But, that is not an overshare. I would shit myself.
So yeah, I've only ever shit myself once in my life. And it was when I found out I had breast cancer.
That's the time to do it.
And I had a bit of, I had a little bit of a melange of things going on,
right?
Diet wise, and those couple of days. So I think
it all accumulated,
and I just everything just released. Yeah. So that's a fun fact about me.
That's great.
I can't wait to share that on First Dates.
What's funny is you're not the first person to say you shit yourself on this show. So.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm such a hack.
Yeah.
God damn it. First, Tignataro had breast cancer before, and now someone else already talked about shitting their pants on your podcast. I'm just like, oh my God, Chelsea. Do something original.
Okay, so then you went to the Glendale clinic.
I went to the Glendale clinic. The doctor I met with there, and my cousin, is my second cousin. She started helping me through my treatment because she had also had breast cancer when she was about my age as well.
Oh, wow.
She's about...
Did your mom?
My mom didn't.
Okay.
She had some sort of cyst but she'd not had cancer. But then my other there's cancer like on my mom's side. I don't know really anybody on my dad's side, but on my mom's side, somebody had pancreatic, someone had lymphoma. There's random bouts of different places. So she's in her like mid to late 40s, my older cousin, and she was kind of helping me through this process. So she was going to like all of my appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I was not necessarily of sound mind and body with I was not taking this news well. And so I just would kind of zone while she was in a lot of these appointments. She'd like have a notebook. She'd be doing out. And
that's what you need. That's what you need.
Kind of like, yeah. And so we went to the Glendale clinic. We meet with this doctor, the oncologist, and he seems to really know his stuff. But then right away, he's like, so yeah, you're going to want to upgrade your insurance. And like, you should go. I'm also, he doubles up there and at Cedars-Sinai. He's like, upgrade your insurance, go to Cedars-Sinai, and we'll give you like all really great treatment, whatever. So then I'm dealing with the rigmarole during the marketplace, like turnover, the affordable care. Anyway, so I'm trying to upgrade my insurance so I can book these appointments. And then I'm having a hard time. Then I'm not hearing from the Covered California people. They're not confirming with me.
Hard. Yep.
And then Blue Shield wasn't confirming with me. So each time I get a hold of one of them to be like, okay, well, that's a question for them. And I went back and forth, and then I had another like,
it's insane. Dude.
I had a meltdown. I started bawling to this poor guy at Blue Shield, and was like, I have cancer, and I need to know if I'm covered or not, so I can go and I can get my lumpectomy. And the guy was like, okay, yes, miss, sorry, I understand. You're just, So eventually that got taken care of, and then we go to Cedars. Then that whole MRI machine thing happened out the gate. And we had gotten there. I'd gotten like a really early appointment at like 6:30 or 7 in the morning or something. And it wasn't until like 12:30 or so that they said, oh, the machine's finally working again. By the way, are you on your period? Whatever.
Unbelievable.
And then we had also stacked that appointment to meet with the oncologist again. And then it was so weird because he'd seemed so helpful before. But that second appointment, and I get it. He probably has a lot of patience, but he was just kind of very glib, like kind of like, oh, who are you? Kind of looking. And then I don't know, at some point, something about me not eating came up. He's like, why does she eat? Why hasn't she eaten? And my cousin was like, because we thought she was getting an MRI today. So we haven't eaten for like 7 hours, since like almost 24 hours. So there was that. And then he referred me to this surgeon. Then I had to go back to Glendale for that, to just have a consultation with the guy.
Okay.
Who was saying more or less, he was pushing me to consider a double mastectomy or a possible implant. Like he was just like, given the size of it, because it was like yay big, like anticipate, it's
like
probably
it was the size of a meatball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's it's stage 2, but it very likely could be stage 3. And like, given the size and whatnot, I should probably just lop them off and like, get some. So I'm going to refer you to this plastic surgeon. So then I go to this plastic surgeon in Atwater, and then I go to his office, and he is like, why are you here? You haven't even had your lumpectomy yet. Why did they send you here? And I was like, I don't know. And
this is insane.
I don't know. And so my cousin was like, just make an appointment with City of Hope, because she went to City of Hope for all of her treatment. She's like, just go there. I had to wait about 30 days for that appointment. So that was the end of January, beginning of February or something is when I finally got to meet with them. And then right away, I met with a woman oncologist, oncological surgeon as well. And I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to make this into a whole big gendered thing, but like I felt like such relief that I was just being treated by like two women who were being very calm, who are actually like my oncological surgeon.
You weren't just telling you to hack off your tits.
Exactly. Like literally the surgeon was like, you're most likely you're going to need a double mastectomy. So I'm going to refer you. It was insane. It's all and oops, all dudes. It's just fine. I'm not saying that, being a dude, you can't sympathize with it, but like these, just right away, the sweetest woman ever, Dr. Jones, who did my surgery, and she did an amazing job. But that first appointment with her, she like flips over her chart, blank sheet on the on her clipboard, and she just starts drawing a diagram, because I'm like, I don't know what to expect. She's like, okay, so here's the first thing that's gonna happen. First things first, we're gonna do the surgery. And then one of three things is going to happen. Either we find something in your lymph node, and then we're going to go this chemo route, and then this and that. And then most likely we should consider a mastectomy, or we're going to do, maybe we don't find any spread and we'll just do radiation. Or maybe we go, she did like three like options. Broke this whole thing down for me. And everything else up to that point, I'd been kind of just flying by the seat of my pants, and they were like, you go over there. Okay, go over here. So I finally and she gave me the paper too.
And it's a visual construct of what could, I love that.
And so that was incredible. And then I had the surgery, I want to say halfway through March of 2023 or so. And I remember when I woke up from the surgery and Dr. Jones came in and she was like, "We saved the nipple." And she did. Because it was right by
the nipple.
Okay. And I mean, she did such a good job. She made the incision like right along the edge of my areola.
Oh man.
I mean, a woman's touch. That's all I can think is just like her being so mindful of that. And then when she took the lymph node out, it was right where like the armpit fat folds. I'm like, this woman is amazing.
Oh, what a saint.
Seriously. I'm like, she's
magic. Yeah.
Absolutely magical. I'm so glad I switched
now,
hospitals.
Real quick question. City of Hope, could you have used the same insurance that you would have used, or would you have had to upgrade your insurance like that guy suggested?
Okay. I still would have had to, because they're kind of they're weird, kind of particular about like the insurance that they take there. I know they take Blue Shield, but I don't know. I was on like a super low grade, like I think LA Care, like HMO. I was paying, I was doing like bare minimum, to avoid penalty, insurance, and I just wasn't like going to the doctor or anything. Which is part of why I freaked out so hard when I found, because I hadn't been going.
Like, I don't have the right coverage for this. Yeah.
I definitely.
Well, you're in your early 30s. Like what the?
Yeah. So that's, I would have had to have upgraded no matter what. But I mean, I'm not like fully aware of all the insurances they take, but
so they did the lumpectomy, and then what was next? Was it in the lymph node?
No, it wasn't in the lymph node, but I had to wait like almost a month to find that. So late April is when I found, up to this point, and even as sweet as the doctors were at City of Hope, every single doctor, everybody was telling me expect chemo, gear up for that. So it wasn't until like the end of April that I met with another oncologist, and they said, so the good news is it didn't spread to the lymph nodes. So that means that we can just roll right into radiation for the next 4 weeks, 5 days a week.
Okay.
And so for 5 days a week for basically the entirety of May, I was driving out at like 6 a.m. or something like that to City of Hope.
Are you still working at this point?
No.
I was going to say.
So that's the other thing is the week I found the lump, I had already, again, I already was having issues with drinking and using. I had a bit of a meltdown and I lost my job.
Okay.
And then I talked to my cousin about my situation.
Were you a waitress at the time?
I was.
Okay.
And she was like, "Okay, well, don't worry about working right now while you're doing it." And
it's not time for a job search,
right? And especially with people, everybody was saying expect chemo, and so I also had quite a bit of money from, I'd done a State Farm ad that was running way more than I expected it to.
That came in clutch. Yeah. Okay,
that came in clutch. That is how I paid to get by without having to work during that time. And for the copay, what have you. I still had to have help though, on top of that, because it's so expensive. So I still had help from my cousin. But that commercial that worked out very conveniently.
Great.
And yeah, so I was driving out at like 6 a.m. for like 5 days a week throughout May. And then the radiation was done and they were like, yeah, so you're in remission, you're good to go. And I was like, oh, so I just I just go back to work? Okay.
It's going to feel so weird because you're like, survive.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
And then, okay, you're good.
And there was this, I felt this sort of depression and fallout from that.
Yeah.
Because I kind of built this up to be so much more of a thing. And I also hadn't been working for like almost 6 months at that point.
Right.
I definitely wasn't of sound mind and body still.
Okay.
And the week that I finished radiation, my sister's feet go numb. She falls. She has to go to the hospital. She immediately gets put into chemo treatment for leukemia. Can't make this up.
What?
I mean, or you could, but the writer's room would say that's hack.
Yeah.
It's a hat on a hat.
Yeah,
how can you do that?
Hat on a hat.
So literally, I so then I'm dealing with this like survivor's guilt mixed with like, oh, so God basically was like, oh,
let's give it to her.
We're gonna, oh, Chelsea, you're a glutton for suffering. You thought that you
were done,
bitch. You thought we're gonna give it to her.
Yeah,
we're gonna make her. And I just, so I had kind of a breakdown.
How's your sister?
She's in remission now too.
Holy, you guys are.
I know
your parents must be.
Well, so that it. When you ask about like an event, I would say it wasn't even so much the cancer or the experience of being treated for it, because again, I was self-medicating. I was not well. I would say the event that happened was having to face reality and what life would look like to keep living. Because there was this part of me that was like, oh, this cancer could kill me. So whatever. So I was just living fully hedonistic like 6 months while also going to medical appointments. I just was like, going benders, eating anything I want. I was like, well, I'm going to go on chemo. I just ate like shit. I just didn't matter. And then it was like, oh, I still have a life to live. And also it's such a fuck you to my sister going through what she's going through that I'm not taking better care of myself. So then so it was more the coming out of the cancer treatment and that the existential fallout of now what do I do?
Yeah. Now what do you want to make of it? Yeah.
What do I go back to school? I got to get a job again. Right. I guess I have to clean up. My boyfriend of 4.5 years, and I had a fight that turned into a breakup at the end of June as well. It's just a few weeks after I finished my treatment while my sister was in hers as well. So I just was like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
And so, that leads to, I guess, what the medicine was, which is I had to get sober.
Yeah.
I had to start with that.
Did you come to that idea on your own, or did somebody tell you that?
I came to it on my own. It wasn't the first time I tried to get sober. I did an outpatient program in 2022. I did an inpatient and an outpatient program when I was 21, 22. I'd been in and out of the rooms.
Right.
I'd gotten 90 days before and then gone back out, whatever.
Right.
And, but I want to say it was my first time back in the rooms again was July 4th of 2023.
Okay.
And I really knew I needed to clean up, but it's hard.
When you're saying the rooms, you're saying AA.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't want to make this into, it's part of the principles. You're not supposed to be like, promoting AA or enjoy whatever. It's like, and I certainly have my criticisms, but like, I knew I needed, I had just spent all my money. I was not going to go to rehab.
Right.
I couldn't afford that. I still needed to work or get back to work. And so that from July through the end of January 2024 was me dealing with this push and pull of like, I need to get better. I need to get healthy. I need to pick myself back up / I don't really know how. What's the point? Everything's fucked. My career is fucked. I don't have a job. I just got dumped. And then finally, my official sobriety date is January 30th, 2024, because I couldn't get 30 days for all that time.
Right.
But the medicine, I would say again, was just I had to kind of go through that bottom of the fallout of cancer.
Yeah, it's a big rock bottom. Yeah.
And then really come to terms with like, I don't want to die, but I don't know how to live.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to live.
Right.
I don't know how to take care of myself.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get up in the morning and do things without like throwing a couple in just to stop shaking or something, it was at that point. Can I ask
what was your substance?
My first love was always alcohol.
Uh-huh.
But definitely Adderall, cocaine, Xanax.
Up and downers. Okay.
And it's just because it's at a certain point, it's like it just
turns
into
it's like you gotta
I'm tired.
Yeah.
And so that was something I've been going through for quite some time.
Yeah.
To varying degrees of functionality.
Right.
And so, I'm like, God, I feel like I'm oversharing. I'm like, oh, this is like, I don't know. But
oh no.
This is on brand, right? This is okay,
this
right?
This is so on brand. And by the way, you would tell by my face if I think only one time, and actually you probably know the guy I'm talking about. He came on. I was like, I can't post this. Oh. I'll tell you who it is later.
Okay.
And you aren't even in the realm of what that looks like.
Okay, cool.
So you're good to go.
All right.
How do you feel now, like today? Like right in the middle without having to get too high. And
I would say this is probably the healthiest I've ever been. Mm-hmm. I have, and this is, I mean, the big catalyst for why I drank and used so much is I have a really intense anxiety, really, really intense anxiety. I go from like 1 to 11 so quickly, just, and I've always been like that since I was a kid, and with the depression, whatever, but I would say this is I'm not where I want to be in life necessarily, but I feel better about, again, I feel like I'm in better physical shape.
Yeah.
I actually sleep at night, I also have community, not even necessarily just like with AA, but like putting myself back out there, actually being present for things like cold reading groups or improv practices. Like I'm actually present and can connect with people, and I'm not just in my head or going through the motions because I'm supposed to be doing this stuff if I want to be successful. Like right. I'm
you seem so much, and I don't want to use to be trite, but like you seem so much more like centered.
I try.
Grounded, yeah.
I try. See, I feel like I'm like coming off like I'm worked up, but that's very.
But you're
not. That's very reassuring.
Not at all.
I think it's just
like you're very like you feel very zen.
I appreciate that. I mean, I did get a yoga membership.
There it is. That's the solution.
There it is. I buried the lead. The medicine was yoga.
I stretch.
The medicine was pigeon pose. Sorry.
That's what healed me.
Scratch all that other stuff.
It's just pigeon pose.
Scratch all that, everything just led me to the mat, and that's and I found serenity.
Yeah. How often do you have to do checkups?
So I'm getting a mammogram, ultrasound. I think it's maybe it's different with different doctors or with City of Hope. They're very consistent about booking the next appointment, and I have an oncological surgeon I meet with every 6 months. And 2 different oncologists, one with the radiation group and the main right. one. And they all want appointments like every 6 months to a year.
Great.
And I'm doing a mammogram ultrasound every 6 months. I think an MRI is an annual thing. So again, I had one actually last December. I had another cancer scare again, actually last December.
Okay.
Because I was considering downgrading my insurance because it's I'm still kind of paying through the nose a little bit. But I'm paranoid because I'm like, I don't want to like,
if something
I
happens.
downgrade and then I gotta upgrade it again. And so then I had an MRI in the beginning of December. They found something again. Then I had to have the biopsy in January. And then and this is all the difference though, but just so night and day between like the actual the first diagnosis I had and then this experience is that my oncological surgeon was like so excited to tell me the good news that I didn't have cancer that she called me like the day after my like 2 days after as soon as the results came through. Okay. She called me and I was like, and she put it in my chart. Also, City of Hope has like a whole app that has all of your medical. It's awesome. And then she's like, hi, Chelsea, it's Dr. Jones. I just want to let you know, I didn't want you to have to wait over the weekend. And it's non-cancerous. It's benign and blah, blah, blah. Have a great day. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
This is why I switched doctors.
This is why. Yeah.
This is why. So
this is also like a promo ad for City of Hope. Because now I know the other stuff seems so daunting.
It was so ridiculous. Listen, maybe other people, it could have been a different thing for them and their experience, but just like, it was crazy. Just, when I started at City of Hope right away, I meet with a lady oncologist, lady oncological surgeon. They happen to both be like the sweetest ladies in the world. Boom, we're booking you for surgery. Boom, we're gonna set you up for the everything just started moving so quickly.
It's such a well-oiled machine too, compared to like.
And I can't say that I don't know what everyone's experience of City of Hope's like. Maybe it's different, but like I'm so lucky and grateful that I had what I had. And I think now that's also something that in sobriety, I can look back and go like, I am so lucky that that went as well as it did.
Right.
I'm so lucky to be, well, like obviously to be alive, but to also to be able to fall as hard as I did in 2023. I've made like every mistake you could possibly make out here in LA. I've lost jobs. I've humiliated myself, and like I've had crash outs. I've slept with all the wrong people. It's why I'm not successful. No, but I've made every mistake. I'm so lucky I get to still be here, and that's like I couldn't be in that headspace unless I had the health that I have now, I guess, or had taken, I guess, quote, the medicine, which is just pigeon pose. Just pigeon pose and, some good Epsom salt baths.
That's it.
Just, yeah.
I wish they would have just told us that earlier.
I wish I could have saved a lot of money. Money.
What do you think the funniest lesson you learned is?
A funniest lesson, I would say is, I had time to think about it. I didn't do my homework.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Funniest lesson is, I think it's more of a life lesson, is that there are going to be people surrounding you who mean well, but they don't know the answers to any, whether it's your doctor or like there were friends that I told that I was dealing with breast cancer, and then they cry. They start crying. I have to comfort them. It's like, oh my God, you're going to die. You're going to die. Like I had a friend who like had a meltdown when I told her that I was like dealing with breast cancer. She's, oh my God, I can't. You can't have breast cancer. You're going to die.
Stop. Are you still friends with her?
Yeah. Well, it's just, it's one of those, it's like, hey, listen, she's seen me at my worst, and I knew where she was coming from. It came from a good place.
Intention. It was a good intention. Okay.
But that's also the thing too, is like learning. There are people that can be very well intentioned, but just they're putting their foot in their mouth all the time.
They don't have a solution. Yeah.
I think learning to just relax and have a better sense of humor about things too, which sometimes I'm good with and sometimes I'm not. I can be a bit of a hothead still. I can be a little, because I get worked up, and I don't self-medicate for it now. So, that's, but situations like my doctor not calling for like a week while their office was allegedly flooded or something, like learning to be patient. I don't know if that's a funny lesson, but
I mean, I didn't go through that, and my lesson is murder. Like, I would murder that guy. And then he just hung up after he told you.
Don't call, just click.
Like, what the fuck?
And
dude.
So
between that and the guy who's just like, we'll just cut him off. That guy, between both of them.
The funniest lesson is men ain't shit.
Yeah.
The funniest lesson between that, my ex not being present for any of my treatment, and then dumping me a few weeks later.
Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, we got a little bit of time for that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So you guys are together 4 years.
4.5.
4.5. And he wasn't there for any of that?
So he went to 2 different appointments. He went to the plastic surgeon one, because I think that was also the same day we were going to Disneyland, which I was paying for with commercial money or something. And I just wanted to get away or whatever.
I hate this guy.
So, oh, boy. And the other appointment was my last day of radiation, where I rang the bell because I wanted to be videoed for that. And I've gone and post it on social media and be like, you guys, I did it.
Yeah. I've videoed people for that before. I'm like, I'll go with you. That sounds great.
There you go. So he went with me to those 2 appointments, and then he would, he'd ask sort of like, do you need me to go with you to this thing?
Sure, but
he would do it in this tone where it's just like, see, I don't want to, if like people who know who my ex was, they know who he is, where he works and stuff. I'm not trying to dox him any further, because I had a meltdown on social media.
I think I saw it.
Yeah. I think everybody saw it.
Yeah. I was like, fuck that guy.
Everybody saw it.
Because it was, you already said it, but it was like a week after.
I had finished so it was a few weeks after. It was the week of my birthday.
That's it.
Actually,
That's what
it was the week of my birthday.
Like something important.
Yeah. And he was just being an asshole to me on the phone. And I had been drinking. I'm going to acknowledge that. Yeah. But like, I stand by the fact that he'd been an asshole to me for quite a while, and I just kind of blew up at him.
Yeah.
And then that was the end of it. And
wow.
Yeah, so I hope I don't regret talking about this later. I'm sure it's fine. You're validating me. It's fine.
No,
we're
just
fine. Girls.
I want his name and address like after this. That's my.
But he wasn't really present for that. And then when I told him about what happened with when I'd found the lump, he didn't believe me when I was scared. And then, maybe he was just trying to de-escalate. Maybe I'll give him credit. Maybe he was just trying not to panic, or he wasn't trying to feed into my panic. Whatever. He didn't believe me when I said I found a lump.
You don't have to try this hard to be devil's advocate. We can just hate him.
Thank you. I guess I go out of my way to try to do that, because I know on the other on their end, they're going, she's an alcoholic addict piece of shit.
Right.
She's crazy. She's this,
Yeah, they've got their own version. Mm-hmm.
I try to kind of be mindful of like, well, yeah, no, I know I wasn't perfect, but these are the receipts.
Does he know you're sober now?
I don't know. We are not in contact. Okay. Maybe. But I don't. I think that's like that's so. There are people that are like, oh, maybe down the road we could be friends. No, that's never.
Oh, I don't think so. Yeah, like, because I'm thinking of you going through that journey, and then, yeah, you were also like drinking and stuff like that. But if just you yelling at him was what ended 4.5 years.
Yep.
It doesn't sound like a pretty.
Also, when I had first gotten diagnosed, it was like, I want to say the week after I'd been diagnosed, and we went to like Bloodso's or something, went to get barbecue or whatever. And he didn't talk to me like the whole meal. It was just kind of like eating like very aggressively and fat. I was just sitting there just like, I almost started crying. And then we got into the car and I was like, listen, do you need an out? Like I had a conversation with him. Like, listen, I don't want to make you have to go through this cancer stuff with me if we're not in a good place. Like, I don't want to make you. And he sat there and he was like, well, I'd still want us to be friends, I guess. And I started bawling.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, I take back what I said. I can't do this. I can't handle a breakup on top of this right now. I'm sorry I said anything. He's like, okay. And we just drove home.
Oh, girl.
I stayed with him for another almost 6 months.
Oh my God. Just white knuckled that relationship on top of it.
I was like, I can't do this. And
by the way, are you writing this? Have you written this? Scene
I'm like, how do I guess my paranoia about writing, because I've journaled, but there's a part of me that's like, well, how do I do this in a way that doesn't, I don't know. I guess I can just be selfish and write things for me, but I always put this pressure that I have to say something. It has to be so like either wildly funny or beautifully cathartic or whatever.
I think that would be both. That scene right there at Bledsoe's would be both.
It was awful, man.
And then and
I had a bunch of beef stuck in my teeth. God.
It's because it's so real. It's so real. And that guy is so specific of a character. And also, if he wanted you to write warmly about him, he should have behaved better. That's my favorite quote.
I love that quote.
That's my favorite quote.
He should have behaved better.
He should have behaved better. Dude, you should absolutely write that. Because I'm like...
He thought I was done dragging him. He thought the peace had finally come now.
No, never. No. I can't wait to find out who this guy is.
Oh, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah. That's wild. And then just the podcast that I just recently listened to, or like I'm about to listen to because I just saw the clip, but it was that when in partnerships, when a woman is sick, there's a 624% more likely chance that the man will leave. Yeah. And for women, it's if the man's sick, there's only a 2% chance that the woman will leave.
And sickness and health is apparently only a one-way street.
I was like,
I was aware of that at the time of my diagnosis as well. Yeah. And I gave him that out. And like, had I not immediately started crying and go, I take it back, like we would have broken up. Like then. And
that's wild, girl. Good riddance. Good riddance.
So it's just one of those things. Like I do acknowledge I wasn't a perfect partner. Yeah. I was very much struggling with drinking and using. I've been struggling with that now I have a year and a half sobriety almost, but I had my first drink when I was like either 10 or 11. Okay. So I've had an issue for a very long time. And so this is a hard thing for me to get through. And anybody dating me, there's going to be, there historically would be difficulty with that.
Right.
And I do acknowledge that. And I feel for that. But that's, I mean, I voluntarily put myself through outpatient treatment in 2022. That summer before I got diagnosed, my insurance cut me off. And I was like, well, I can't pay out of pocket for this. And it was before I booked that State Farm ad. And then, I just, it's just one of those things that's like, it's something I've contended with, I mean, since I was in college, when I was working at Growl, it's been a thing for a long time that I've had varying degrees of like manageability with.
Right. Yeah. I don't think you just cut out cocaine, Xanax, Adderall, alcohol. I think you also cut out a toxic dead weight of a man. So all of that's gone. You know what I mean? I mean, I know it's still a process and obviously, you have to work through that, but that like, you just seem so much more grounded. I don't want to, it's so cliche to be like, you seem so centered.
It's like, no, but it's like very validating because I don't, it's very kind. And I'll say like, no, my life is not a bowl of cherries still, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. Mm-hmm. And I'm just, thank you. Like I'll tell you, I have actively been trying to work on it because it's like, I think I was like listening to, it was Seth Meyers or somebody was talking about like trying not to burn bridges with people. And he says like, life's long. And I'm like really coming to terms with the fact that like life's long and I have to live with myself.
Yeah.
And I think that given, I haven't given my whole life story of why I became the person that I became, or the choices that I made in my 20s, then the crash outs and whatnot. But like, I didn't have a very good upbringing. I had a lot of trauma, this and that. And there was this part of me that like I never really visualized what life would look like past 30. Right. There's a part of me that just didn't really think that was. So when I got diagnosed with breast cancer at 32, I was like, you're late, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I kind of had this thought of like, well, I'm not gonna,
Yeah. And now that you have this like second chance.
And I'm like, so I have a life to live. Actually.
Yeah.
And what do I really want that to look like?
Yeah.
And I'd like to be present for it.
Because
there's a lot of the vast majority of my upbringing and a significant chunk of my 20s I don't remember.
Right.
And I'd like to start remembering things and make them good.
I love it.
So,
I love it. Thank you for sharing all that.
Thanks for receiving that.
Oh my God. That's great, dude. Look at us. Who would have thought like 10 years ago we were like deep in a bottle of something, I'm sure, hanging out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of that.
I don't remember either. For a good reason.
Yeah.
Made some choices.
Yeah. Where can people follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Chelsea the Pope, or on TikTok at Chelsea_Pope. I do also have the Chelsea the Pope on TikTok, but all of those TikToks I was drunk or super high.
So check those out.
Run to those. Because at some point in 2020, I got locked out of that account. And I never could log back in. So, and what's funny is that I only am following one person, and it's the only JS, who is like that one TikToker who was like super big 2019, 2020, would just like jump into their bathroom and be like, fun fact.
Oh yeah.
This is how you can emotionally manipulate people. Fun fact. If you make eye contact and you say that, like,
oh my God.
And I just thought that person was like so clever and interesting.
And that's the only person
I follow. So that didn't age well because allegedly they've been canceled. I don't know, but I can't log back in.
That's great.
But anyway, Chelsea_Pope is the TikTok that I currently use.
Amazing.
So thanks for listening.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. You guys follow her, check her out. As always, you can follow me at The Funny Thing Is Podcast, or at Nicole Birch Comedy, or NicoleComedy.com. And we will see you again next week. Be nice to each other. Bye.